Hi, my dear Fundoo Class students. How are you? Welcome to this session. I hope you all are doing well. I'm very happy to tell you that this is the last session of tenses. So this brings us to the end of the journey of this particular series where we discuss tenses in details. And I hope you really learned a lot and really enjoyed, learning about various types of tenses. We did try to, include a lot of examples and revise as much as possible and do some exercises so that the concept stays with you. So it's always important to be very creative when you're revising tenses. I've tremendously put focus on this particular idea that you should make charts, you should make flashcards, you can make some notebooks, you can make some diagrams, you can do a lot of comparisons. Whenever we are learning some tenses, I ensure that we revise some portions so that it remains fresh, the concept remains fresh in your mind. So let's quickly start with today's session. Before we begin, could I please request you to use the share button and invite all your friends for the class? My name is Juhi Narula. I have 12 years of experience in training students for various competitive exams. I also happen to be a life skills coach and a content creator. I've done my bachelor's in technology and master's in business administration. Hi to everybody, those who have just joined the class. So good to have you. I hope you are keeping well. Right. So in this class, we are going to talk about future perfect continuous tense. But before that, since we have this ritual that we revise some previous tenses, so let's today talk about simple future. So where do we use simple future? We have had a detailed discussion. Simple future is used for an action that's going to begin and that's going to end in the coming future, right? So as the name itself represents, an activity that's going to happen in the near time, right? So what would be the formula? Formula would be simple: will plus verb first form. We also call it root form, so don't get worried. You can note down the formula very quickly so that it stays afresh in your mind. So will plus verb first form, right? So here we talk about simple future, right? Now where do we use future continuous? Future continuous is used again for an activity that's going to happen in the future but it's going to stretch for a period of time, right? So say for instance, you'll go for a rehearsal tomorrow and you'll be practicing your dance moves. So you are going to do it for some duration, maybe half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, maybe for 1 hour, maybe for 2 hours. So that activity is stretched for some duration. So that's where we talk about future, continuous tense coming into the picture, right? So I'm sure you are clear. And what is the usage? I will be. So I'll write the formula also for you for future continuous. I will plus be plus verb first form plus ing. Wow. So this is future continuous. Right. So now we are since doing future continuous, let's also talk about present continuous, right? So that everything is there for you to relate. So where do we use present continuous tense? So first is, how do we use present continuous tense? So we say is, am, or are plus verb first form plus ing. So you can see, you can just correlate, or you can see the difference between the formula future continuous and present continuous, right? So this is the formula for future continuous and this is the formula for present continuous. Now, where do we use present continuous? We use present continuous for an action that's happening at the time of speaking, right? So at this instance, so that helps us understand because the name itself says present continuous. So at this moment of time, whatever action is happening, we explain that particular action in present continuous tense, right? And future continuous tense, where do we use future continuous? For an action that's going to happen in the future and going to happen for a duration, right? So that's the difference. Now we can also talk about past continuous so that all the three tenses are compared and the difference is clear. So when we talk about past continuous, the formula would be was or were plus verb first form plus ing. So Past continuous, as the name reflects, it's an action that was happening in the past, and then what happened was that it continued for some duration in the past before, something occurred, right? So I was, planning my day before my daughter came. Right, so this is how you can frame the sentence. I hope you are very clear here, sorted. So see, we have revised four tenses in this quick duration, so it doesn't take actually a lot of time. So students say, ma'am, when we'll revise, it's going to consume a lot of time. We don't have time. We have our schools and we have so many other activities. So where's the time to revise? It doesn't actually take a lot of time to revise, right? It just takes few minutes, but you have to be very aggressive in, investing those few minutes. Maybe you can decide that, once I have my lunch break, then I'll revise, or maybe before going to bed, I will revise, or after, first thing in the morning, after doing my morning rituals, I'm going to revise. So you can dedicate 3 to 4 minutes, while I'm waiting for my school bus to come, then I'm going to revise. So you can, have some period where invest in revising few grammar concepts, and it should not be more than 3 or 4 minutes, right? That is more than sufficient. If you're doing the revision aggressively and investing 3 to 4 minutes, and that's really not much, right? Every day you will see a huge difference. You will see a lot of concept clarity, happening to you, and you're becoming more confident, you're becoming better with your communication skills, you're becoming more effective in your writing, in more effective in question solving, and this ultimately is going to, of course, pay you well in the end when you're going to, solve such questions in the competitive exams. Let me tell you, students, whatever career you want to go ahead and pursue, you want to be a lawyer, you need to give law entrances, you need to go for CLAT. If you want to be, a future manager, and you plan to go for, IIM soon after your 12th standard, you need to go for IP MAT exam, right? If you want to go abroad, you need to give SAT, and all these questions are a part of all these three exams, right? In fact, give, these days, as a coming trend, we are seeing that Delhi University is also going to give admission after having an entrance test. Hotel management, there's an entrance test. BBA, there is an entrance test, right? So whatever career field you are planning to choose, there would be an entrance test, and if there is an entrance test, it will definitely have some questions of verbal ability or grammar coming your way. So this is an investment that you're doing. So what happens is, when students in their basic years, they don't put a lot of time and effort in, getting sorted with their concepts, and when it comes to the end, when it comes to the exam, they have a lot to do. So you will be really relaxed at that point of time if you are investing 3 to 5 minutes every day, apart from, of course, attending the sessions, right? So please make it a point that you're religiously making efforts for revision, so that the concept stays with you and you become a pro in all the verbal ability questions, right? So I hope I've made my point very clear. So we have done some revision also. It's time to start with today's concept, which is future perfect continuous tense. So let's see, where do we use future perfect continuous tense? When we talk about future perfect continuous tense, first let's know the formula. It would be having will plus have plus been plus verb first form plus ing, right? So this is the formula. We will talk about the usage, but I'll give you 30 seconds to write this formula, and then we'll talk about where do we use it. So I'm sure you have written it. So let's talk about where do we use future perfect continuous. We also name it future perfect progressive. So don't get worried if you encounter the term future perfect progressive. Future perfect continuous and future perfect progressive, both these terms can be interchangeably used. Right? So this actually describes an action that will continue up until a certain point in the future, right? So action is going to continue for a period of time in the future. So that's where we use future perfect continuous tense. You already know the formula. Let's further study about the concept. So uh, when we describe an action in the future perfect continuous tense, let's read it. It's a very interesting statement, and then we'll elaborate and illustrate it with some examples. We are projecting ourselves forward in time and looking back at the duration of an activity. So you are projecting yourself, that's what's going to happen. So by November I will have been working at my company for 3 years. So you're projecting yourself forward, and then you're gazing back that what would be the event that you would have finished till that point of time, right? Isn't it? So with an example it really becomes easy. So the activity will have begun in the past, maybe in the present or in the future, and it's expected to continue. So I'm projecting myself in future. I'm saying that in November, and then I'm saying that I will have been working at my company for 3 years. So the activity started in the past and it's going to, continue till some instant in the future, right? So let's take another example. At 5 o'clock, I will have been waiting for 30 minutes. So you're projecting yourself in future and you're looking back at the duration of that particular activity, right? Or when I turn 30, I will have been playing piano for 21 years. So with the examples, the concept really becomes easy, isn't it? So I'll give you 1 entire minute. Please pen it down so that, you are ready and, aware of about future perfect continuous tense. So quickly take a minute and note it down, and please ensure you write some examples so that you don't forget the concept. Please make sure that whenever we are writing a point, it should be always having an example with it, right? If you'll do without examples, it's going to create a lot of mess. You might just not be able to understand that what this technical language is trying to convey. So it's always suggested that first thing, write the point in your own language, however it works for you, and whenever you're writing a point, always support it with some examples, so that when you read the point and you read the examples, you're perfectly able to relate, right? I hope I make sense to you. So I hope you have noted it down. Let's move forward. So there's very interesting point, and a lot of questions are asked from this point. So non-action verbs do not use the future perfect continuous. So what are non-action verbs that cannot stretch, right? So what do we use instead? We use future perfect. Again, too much of information, right? So let's quickly take a look at some examples and identify that what is the point trying to elaborate. On Thursday, I will have been knowing you for a week. So this is incorrect. Why? Because this is a non-action verb, right? So events like thinking, seeming, realizing. So these activities cannot stretch. So the usage of future perfect continuous would be inappropriate. So what will you say? On Thursday, I will have known you for a week. So what is the tense we are using? Instead of future perfect continuous, we will be using future perfect tense. I hope after the example it makes sense to you. So any activity which is a non-action verb like seeming, thinking, knowing, these activities do not entertain the usage of future perfect continuous, because of course the event is not going to be physically occurring, right? So it's more of a mental or an emotional state. So what do we use instead? We use future perfect tense, right? And let's take one more example. I will have been reading 45 books by Christmas. So I will have read 45 books by Christmas. So for your convenience, we have also put in the bracket incorrect and correct, so that we are all sorted. So what are you going to do? You're going to write this and write the exception. A lot of questions in the competitive exams are from this particular point. In fact, you'll get a lot of questions in your school exam also. So this is a vital concept, very important, because here it's slightly an exception. So these things we usually miss. Make it a point that you note it down rightly, and you also include some examples. Write one incorrect sentence also, because that's how you're not going to do, and one correct sentence, so that you know how to do it, right? So elaborate it. I'll give you 1 complete minute to do this. A lot of students have written it. So I'm thinking that you're sorted here, right? So let's further proceed. And now we are going to do a drill. But before that, you can go and take a short break. So take 2 minutes and join me back. And then we are going to move towards the drill. Those of you who do not want to go and are not tired, you can revise the concepts, you can make a map, you can make some flashcards, you can make some sentences, right? But utilize this time very effectively. And if you want to take a break, quickly have a glass of water and join me back. We see some students joining us back again. Welcome back. Let's wait for 1 more minute for everybody to come back, and then we are going to discuss the drill. So let's get started. So these are 5 questions. What you need to do is you need to fill in the blanks using the future perfect continuous tense. The drill is very, very easy. I'll give you 1 minute. Quickly complete these sentences using future perfect continuous tense. Quickly do it. You can put the answers in the chat box so that we can see how many of the questions have been done, and then we can progress further. Oh, there's a request that come for the formula. So you can write the formula in case you have missed it, students. It's very, very important. It would be will plus have plus been plus verb first form plus ing, right? So that's where the notes really, really help. Anyways, I'll write it again. Will plus have plus been plus verb first form plus ing, right? So I've shown you in the slide also and I've written it for you. So now you are in a comfortable space. Please do follow this formula to solve these questions, and then we'll discuss. Ben will have not been losing weight for 3 months. She will have been reading books since morning. He will have not been traveling for 2 months. We will have been singing for 2 hours, right? I will have not been writing an essay for 1 hour, right? So I'm sure we are sorted with this particular part, everybody, right? So let's move to the second set. The formula I've written again for your convenience. Quickly complete the remaining blanks. In case you have to make a negative sentence, you have to insert not, like we always do after have, and you have to make a question. You have to simply interchange the position of subject with will. So let's start with the first one. Will my mom have been cooking food for many years? They will have been riding a bicycle for 2 hours. He will have been trying to learn the French language for 3 years. She will have not been doing a job for 5 years. Will I have been winning till 2030? Right. So that's it. Now, what are you going to do? We are going to definitely do the homework. So there are the sentences on the screen and the answers also for you. Like I always say, it is very, very important to solve questions which are given for homework, that keep you more involved, that keep you more focused, that bring better clarity, more confidence, and whatnot. Right. And what are you going to do? You're going to find us on Facebook group at Fundoo Class. We have daily free live classes for kids. A lot of exciting sessions happen. You can also find us on Instagram and you can tag us at Fundoo Class Live, right? Also, we are there on YouTube. We have our YouTube channel. The name of the channel is Fundoo Class. So you can find the videos there also. You can follow and like us on our Facebook page at Fundoo Class. So please do so. Also, we are on Telegram, so you can contact us on Telegram and you can see the link for Telegram channel is there, right? So we are there in your reach. You can find us on Telegram. We are there on YouTube. We are there on Facebook. We are there on Instagram. You name it, and we are there, right? Also, you can download our Fundoo Class mobile app. So you can get it on Play Store. You can also get the app on App Store. Depends on which phone you are using, or if you're using your parents' phone, which phone are they using. So you can get the app both on the Play Store and on the App Store, right? Now, what is the ultimate suggestion? That if you want to get better in grammar, I always pay a lot of stress on this idea that continue learning, continue revising. See, we have finished something which is very, very significant. And let me tell you, with years of experience in training students for various competitive exams and training students of all the age groups, I've realized that tenses is something which students struggle the most. So, if you'll become a student who will be going for GRE or GMAT or CAT, you'll find, students coming us and saying that, ma'am, we are really not sorted with tenses. So please help us. So it's better to invest on this concept in your growing years, because like I said, if you'll continue revising for 3-4 minutes every day on your basics, on your grammar essentials, you're going to see a phenomenal improvement in your confidence in dealing with such questions. But you can't escape. So if you feel that it's okay, I can still do the questions, and who wants good in the full marks in verbal, I am already good at maths and science, so let it be. Then you are basically pushing the problem away, right? That's not how it's going to work, because you have to, let me tell you, you have to face tenses, right? There is no other way. I wish I could have found some other way, but there is no other way except to tackle the problem bravely, right? So put your heart and souls, put your energies in the right direction, and ensure that you make a chart, you revise the tenses, and keep learning. God bless you. Thank you so much for your wonderful participation.